The concept of reversing Titanic. The 1997 film Titanic is remembered as one of the most tragic love stories ever told, a grand depiction of human ambition, fate, and the inevitable cruelty of nature. It was a story of love and loss of two souls, Jack and Rose, who found each other in the midst of luxury and disaster, only to be torn apart by fate. But what if fate could be reversed? What if the Titanic never sank, Jack never perished, and everything that was lost had a second chance? Would life truly be better, or would it lose the very essence that made it meaningful? Imagine the story unraveling backward. The ship does not sink. The wreckage at the ocean floor starts to rise. The passengers who drowned in the freezing waters are revived, gasping for breath as if waking from a bad dream. Rose never needs to let go of Jack's hand because he never falls into the abyss of the Atlantic. And when the Titanic reaches Southampton safely, Jack and Rose walk away from each other, strangers as they once were, untouched by tragedy. This is not just a reversal of events. It is an exploration of destiny, choice, and the deep philosophical question: if we could erase our suffering, would our joy still have meaning? This version of Titanic forces us to confront the paradox of pain and growth, of love and impermanence, making us question what truly gives life its value. The journey begins from the end. The story does not begin with a grand voyage or a hopeful departure. Instead, it starts in darkness, deep beneath the ocean, where the Titanic lies in ruins. The ship, once a floating palace, is now covered in the cold, indifferent grasp of time. Its grand staircases are buried under layers of silence, its chandeliers long since dimmed, and its passengers, lost to history, are nothing more than whispers of a past catastrophe. But then, something unimaginable happens. The ocean trembles, the wreckage begins to rise. Like a film rewinding at an eerie pace, metal fragments mend themselves, glass windows reform, and torn lifeboats return to their pristine condition. The ship, piece by piece, reconstructs itself, rejecting its tragic fate. As the vessel ascends, bodies long lost to the sea awaken. Water retreats from their lungs, and they return to life, eyes opening as if they had merely fallen into a deep sleep. Jack Dawson, frozen in the icy embrace of the Atlantic, stirs. His blue lips regain their warmth, his once lifeless fingers move. He is not drowning, he is rising. Rose watches in astonishment as he breathes again, her sorrow evaporating as if it never existed. The ocean releases what it had taken. Yet as their nightmare unravels in reverse, one question lingers in the air. If death never touched them, would they ever know what it means to truly live? Avoiding the iceberg, a life without tragedy. As the ship ascends, time continues to move backward. The frantic screams and desperate cries fade into oblivion, replaced by laughter and music. The once panicked passengers who had struggled for survival now find themselves comfortably seated at their dining tables, sipping champagne, oblivious to the fate they had miraculously escaped. They do not know that they were ever in danger. They do not know that they were ever meant to die. The Titanic, now intact, steers away from the fateful iceberg. There is no impact, no tearing of metal, no chaos. The ship glides effortlessly across the ocean, untouched by the catastrophe that was once inevitable. The voyage continues as it was meant to, smooth, luxurious, uneventful. But herein lies the paradox. A journey without obstacles, without struggles, is a journey easily forgotten. If there is no tragedy, no challenge, does the journey matter? If no one is forced to confront their mortality, do they truly appreciate the life they have? The passengers aboard the Titanic live in blissful ignorance, unaware that they have been granted a second chance, unaware that they were once part of a story that was supposed to be remembered. Perhaps the true weight of existence is only felt when one stands at the brink of loss. And perhaps a life without adversity is not a life at all, but merely an extended dream, one that fades without ever leaving a mark. Jack and Rose, a love that never was. With the iceberg avoided, Jack and Rose never meet under desperate circumstances. Their love story, which was ignited by the chaos of tragedy, never unfolds. Jack remains an artist, wandering without direction, never stepping foot onto the Titanic. He does not sketch Rose's portrait. He does not teach her to spit off the side of the ship. They never dance under the stars, never whisper dreams of running away together. Rose remains in the gilded cage of her high society life, untouched by rebellion, untouched by passion, Without struggle, without desperation, their love never has a reason to exist. There is no moment where Rose needs to be saved, and thus Jack never becomes her savior. Their paths never cross, and in the grand scheme of this new, unbroken world, they remain strangers. Was their love only possible because of impending doom? If they had lived in a world without disaster, without urgency, would they have ever found something worth fighting for? The tragedy of their love was what made it beautiful. It was fleeting, but it was real. It burned brightly for a moment, and that moment was enough. But now, in this reversed reality, their love is erased. Not by death, but by the absence of suffering. Titanic never sank, and it was never remembered. In this alternate reality, the Titanic completes its journey. It reaches Southampton, docks peacefully, and the passengers disembark without a second thought. There are no songs, no tales, no whispered legends of a great ship lost to the sea. The Titanic, once a symbol of both human hubris and resilience, is just another successful voyage. And in its success, it is forgotten. History only remembers tragedy. Triumphs are celebrated in the moment, but rarely endure. The Titanic became a legend not because it was invincible, but because it was lost. The human heart does not immortalize perfection. It clings to what was taken too soon, to what was beautiful and broken. If something is never lost, can it ever be truly valued? Life lessons from this reverse story. We cannot reverse fate, and we don't need to. A life without struggle is a life without depth. Loss is not an end, it is what makes things valuable. Love does not need to last forever to matter. Conclusion: the one-way ship of life 7. If we could rewrite our destinies, erase our pain, undo our losses, would we be happier, or would we be emptier? Life is a one-way journey. There is no rewind, no reversal, no second take. And perhaps that is what makes it worth living. Just like the Titanic, our moments, both joyful and tragic, define who we are. Without them, we would be like a ship that never sailed into history, a story untold. So let us not wish for a life without struggle. Let us not seek to erase the pain. Instead, let us embrace it, knowing that it is what makes every moment precious. Life, like the Titanic, is a voyage that only moves forward. Make it count.